last week, as Surya taught about Git and GitHub. So in that you learned about how you can work with different developers to create your application and push it to one repo, and it will be a source of your application from where you will be deploying it to the production. So after that, the question arises: now the application is ready and it is in your repo. Now you want to test it, you want to build it, and you want to check that everything is working well and good. So for that, what you do, you manually go and start the test scripts and create the builds, and then you like deploy in your EC2 instance or any server where you are running your test and dev environments. There you will be running those application and seeing there, then you'll get on live update that like my application is running well and good, and if you're getting some errors, then you can do some fixes. So like that way you will know your application is running well and not. But one problem will be coming here, like let's say if you have like one after you seeing some errors in your dev environment, then you saw like, no, this thing in my application need to be changed. I need to change this, or I need to change some UI components, it should not be here. Then what you do, you go back to the code and you do some changes, then you again raise a PR, then it is merged to the new code, then your new code is generated out of that. Then you what you do, another one new build will be created, then what, then again test will be, you will be doing, then it will be going to deployment in the that server, your dev environments. This is an hectic and what you say repetitive process, and it will take your consume your time more and more. When you go with large, your when your source code becomes more large, or you do like frequent changes to your code, then it is a hectic process that you will be facing on. So that time what will come, that time one new part, or you can say new tool that will come to in our DevOps cycle, that is called a CI/CD tool. So what's a CI/CD tool? So it is a process by which when a developer pushes a code to a GitHub, then it automatically goes to a testing phase. Then if the test phase is passed, then it will go to then it will go automatically go to the production environment. And this whole process is automated, no manual intervention is required. So what that means, so last week like first class I explained you about this DevOps cycle, like how your application is moving to production from your source code. So what is done, like you have done some changes some to your code, your application, then you post it to a GitHub. Then it is now what it will do, one CI/CD tool will be there. What it will do, it will build your application. Like let's say in your Java application, it will create one jar file. Then what it will do, it will run those tests related to your application, like your UI testing or performance testing, or let's say application or service testing is going on, or DDB testing will be there. So these things you can do using this CI/CD tool. So the most popular CI/CD tool that we are using nowadays is called Jenkins. That you see here. So actually, this will implement the what we told, no, like the building of the application, the testing of the application, and pushing it to the that environments. So that it will be taken care by a Jenkins tool. So why Jenkins tool? Why we're using Jenkins tool? So what are the most popular things, or you can say popular points about this Jenkins tool that we are going to use this? So first one is like it is a, can say robot assisted process, or you can say automated process of deploying your application to the stages. You can say different stages like dev, QA, or prod environment. So you can do automatically. So it will be automatically doing taking your application from your source code, and it will be deploying into their different environments automatically. So that's what it's main power, superpower, you can say first superpower. So then another thing here comes, it's like a pipeline as a code. So what you can say, so this process, no, like you can write in a descriptive description matter, like you can tell like different code, describe an, let's say, one web page, you can describe one web page using CSS code or HTML code. Like that you can mention this pipeline using a code also, which is called as pipeline code. Jenkins, you can write it in a file that is called Jenkins files. Okay, so then another thing that comes to our mind, like someone, like everyone should not run this pipeline. Let's say if some developer has done some changes to, let's say, payment gateway service, and like other senior developers don't know, like these changes were uh, done to the application, and then without getting him knowing, the junior developer, he will do, he will push the code to the GitHub. Then automatically what the Jenkins will take it, build it, and push it to the production environment or any environment. So there are issues you can see without knowing the senior developers, the error can be seen. So what you can do, you can have controls on the, like who can run these pipelines, and who cannot run these pipelines. Then you can have control on these things. Then the fourth point is like, we'll have the debugging point. So what happen, no, in this, let's say, build stage will be there, then testing stage will be there, then integration will be there. These things can, you can individual stage level, you can see logs, like what are the errors you are getting. If let's say build error is there, like the build stage is failed, so what you will go, you can go into Jenkins UI, and you can go there and see all the things, like what the logs you are getting in the build stage. Let's say it will be related to authentication error, or let's say some application jar file error, like that you can check on these stage. So you can like, by this way you can get the logs easily, you can see what the error they are getting. The next is like the final point. It can integrate to everything that you can imagine. Let's say you want to integrate your this tool, Jenkins tool, to Docker Hub, or you can say Git, or you can say your Jira, or let's say your Teams meeting that you are using daily, Teams, or let's say do your deployment, while you're doing your deployment, let's say in your AWS or on-prem, it can integrate to each and every environment, or each and every tool that we are using daily. So it's a you can say automation tool that will do all the things, and it will have the connection to all of the tools. So the next thing that we are going, like, this is the flow that you will see, like how the application is taken to the production. Let's say you have created one let's say payment service or user service, microservice. Then what you do, you do some change, like post that changes to your GitHub. Then Jenkins is already connected to your GitHub, the tools that I mentioned here, no, these tools. So these will be helping Jenkins to connect to the GitHub. Then from there the Jenkins will take the code to the Jenkins environment. Then it will start the build your Java code. Let's say if we are running this as Java application, it will start your Java code. Then it will run the unit test. Then it will run for the scans for the security. If any security things flaws are there in your application, it will check for that. Or let's say in your libraries, if there is some security flaws, then these things it will be checking on. Then at final, it can deploy you only to your staging environment, not prod. This is not like true, this you can also put it in prod, but it's not a, what you say, right way to put the changes of your code directly to the prod. That's why we have mentioned your staging environment. Then you can have like Slack message you can get, like say, let's say your application is like successfully like deployed to your non-prod environment. So now you can get a normal Slack message or Teams message, you can say. Teams also same thing can implement. So there will get test report for the Jenkins, this job for this service we have, it's done, means now it is deployed. You can get a message directly in your Teams. But let's say your application or you can say your application is failed at unit testing, some testing it gone through, but your application failed in those testing. So what it will do, it will send one user service, like user service microservice is failed to deploy, because some of the test cases that you run, that it not pass through. That's what you can get. So this way, like your application is moved from the GitHub to your non-prod environments. Okay. So next we'll go, like it is, but everyone is thinking like Jenkins is a old tool, like it was created long way back, and it is a Java application. So, but it's still everyone is using it because of the main thing that is featured here. It has 800 plugins. Plugins is nothing but the tools that I mentioned. Let's say you're connecting to Docker Hub, You're connecting to Docker, you're connecting to Kubernetes, you're connecting to your Slack teams. Okay, so those things are called as plugins here. So you are connecting to your Jenkins tool, and yes, it is a cloud native tool. Let's say in our like new things and new tools are coming, like this Kubernetes came, so it can be easily implemented with the Kubernetes to deploy. Let's say you create one application that you want to deploy in a Kubernetes environment, so you can do it through Jenkins easily. You can automate the process of deploying your application to the Kubernetes. So first of all, we'll go to